We've all heard the saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And on today's case, Ms. Blunt says she unintentionally put her relationship on that road after she invited a third party into her and her partner's bedroom to spice things up. She says her plan backfired spectacularly, and now she's here with Mr. Saxton to make one last plea to save their relationship. Ooh, it sounds like she's got a lot on the line. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Blunt versus Saxton.
Thank you very much, Ms. Blunt, Mr. Saxton. Ms. Blunt, you are here today to prove to Mr. Saxton that you are not the liar he claims you are. You hope today you can put all his insecurities to rest.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Saxton, you say you feel alone in your relationship. And you say Ms. Blunt's lack of commitment is the blame. Although you love her, you cannot see yourself being in a loveless relationship anymore.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me figure out what is going on in this case. Ms. Blunt, why are we in court?
Let me just first start off by saying that I do love this man very much, and I do want us to work out, but we are having some extreme intimacy issues. We are not, sexually compatible as of lately. We've had a lot of communication issues. We've had a lot of trust issues, and ultimately, we need to get to the bottom of it and be able to have a civil conversation if we want to be able to move forward in this relationship, which I do want to do.
It sounds like you have laid out what the issues are. Mr. Saxton, what's your opening statement to her allegations?
I love her also, but moving forward in our relationship, I have seen different things that come up. So the social media things, she doesn't like to be at home. That's one thing. She likes to go out with her friends. I just want to see her become more of a woman in the household, to our family, and to me.
So those are the issues that you see as impediments in the relationship, and Ms. Blunt laid out the ones that she sees as impediments. Let's see if we can't come to some sort of conclusion on if there's room for compromise. Ms. Blunt, why don't you take me back to how you all met and what got us to the point that we're in divorce court?
Yes, Your Honor. So I met Courtney about 6 years ago, or actually closer to 8. We've been together for 6 years, and we were kind of introduced to each other through a mutual friend.
Did you all have stuff in common?
Yes, we did have a lot in common. He was very ambitious. I'm very ambitious. I'm very business-oriented. He's very business-oriented.
Wait, as a matter of fact, Mr. Saxton, don't you all have business together?
Yes, we do. We have a clothing business that we run together. We started it together. We also do real estate and different things like that together. So
and are you successful in your business together?
I would say yes.
How old are your children?
We have a 2- and a 4-year-old.
So you have little kids, because I know that they're from previous relationships, am I correct?
Yes, correct.
But you all have blended the families.
Yes, Your Honor.
So now get me to what the problem is, Ms. Blunt.
We are not sexually compatible.
You said that earlier. I want to hear what you mean by that.
For example, we've been together for so long, I think that things can tend to kind of dry up, or things can you have to kind of keep it spicy.
So you don't fully enjoy yourself in your romantic encounters, is that correct?
That is correct. I am not getting what I feel like I should be getting. I feel like I should be getting the same thing that he gets, and I don't receive that. Okay. So, that's just what it is. He doesn't take that as constructive criticism. He kind of takes it as an excuse, or he takes it as, me trying to attack him. And he needs to understand that, I deserve mine as well. So I had an idea that maybe we could have an arrangement. Maybe we could bring in a third party to try to spice things up. Maybe
that's never gonna work, right?
It hasn't yet.
How many hundreds of cases have we seen? Any case where you bring a third person into the relationship fails immediately.
Well, I didn't know that at the time. It was just an idea that we...
Now, mind you, lots of people do it.
Right.
But you're never going to get what you want if you're trying to save a relationship. It's just never going to work like that. But you did. You all decided to try it.
We did.
Lots of couples do.
And it still was not given what it was supposed to be. Let me
go over to Mr. Saxton. Mr. Saxton, do you hear what your partner is saying?
Yes, I hear what she's saying. But she also has to hear what I'm saying. When I'm tired and stuff like that, I do it to satisfy her. It's not for me. I didn't come up with this idea. I didn't start this idea. So however I show up in this arrangement is how I show up.
But you agreed to it. We agreed to do this. It was my idea, obviously, to bring in the third party.
Was it a woman or a man?
It was a woman.
Okay.
It was a woman. I reached out to someone that I went to school with. I brought her into the arrangement. And mind you, Judge, we gave it multiple chances, Your Honor. We started, with the first arrangement, wasn't satisfactory. Waited a little bit longer. We decided that it was a great idea to go off to Dallas, Texas, because like I said, I do enjoy traveling. We were going to bring the third party with us, and we were going to try it again. Still unsatisfactory. It still was not given what was supposed to be gave. So later that night, he fell asleep, of course, like usual, after 3 minutes of the arrangement. And I, went into the third party's room. So we ended up, doing our own thing that night. We talked about, moving forward, that we did not want to have him involved in our arrangement. We didn't want to do it. But I had a change of heart, and I was not intimate. I was not intimate with her after the situation in Texas. After the situation in Texas, we came back home. I told him, I don't want to try the arrangement anymore. It was not, again, it's not getting anywhere. It's not giving what I wanted to get out of the situation. We said we were just going to be done with it. So we moved forward, and I was still, having conversations with a third party. We were, having phone conversations. So she was there.
Let's talk about how I caught y'all in the bed. She even acts single on social media.
People be like, quote, why cheat when you can just be single? Well, if you put a jacket on over your shirt, you still gonna keep the shirt on, right?
Like what?
Why are you concerned about a social media post that's just meant to be funny?
Why are you concerned with entertaining miscellaneous people on social media?
Got me there.
Let's talk about when I'm at work doing overnights and you didn't think I was coming home early, how I caught y'all in my bed at our house that we raised our kids in, you naked, she's in her panties, you deer in headlights, don't know what to say, don't know what to do, you're crying and all this stuff. So talk about that.
And Your Honor, in my defense, we were not intimate up until that night that he caught us in the bed. We were strictly
it's so ironic that y'all wasn't intimate until that night that I caught y'all.
We were strictly having phone conversations. We were having phone conversations. We would be on FaceTime. She was there to talk about any issues that we were having that you didn't want to talk about.
Excuse me, Ms. Blunt. In order for us to get anywhere, you have to stand in your caughtness. You got caught stepping out of your relationship with somebody else.
But Your Honor, she even acts single on social media before this has even came up.
Tell me what you mean.
I have evidence that we can have presented to the court that we can even show.
So that we can know what we're talking about in terms of the post.
Yeah, so we can see exactly what she says.
Let's see. It's always better to look at the actual evidence.
Why cheat when you can just be single?
Okay. People be like, quote, why cheat when you can just be single, end quote. Well, if you put a jacket on over your shirt, you still gonna keep the shirt on, right?
Like what?
Okay, then.
Like what?
It's comedy. Like it's literally entertainment. It's entertainment.
But entertainment for who?
It's not funny to me.
It's entertainment for the people on my social media. It's literally entertainment. He takes it so serious, and I have to explain to him, it's social media. If I'm in a relationship with you, why are you concerned about a social media post that's just meant to be funny?
If you're in a relationship with him, why are you concerned with entertaining miscellaneous people on social media?
You got me there, Your Honor.
Then, Your Honor, let me bring up this. To me, it seemed like she was trying to cover up her steps before I even caught her. For example, she hacked my email. When I come to her and ask her, so why are you trying to hack my email? She was like, oh, I'm just trying to see what I can find or see what I can see. I feel like that was her reason for trying to see what she can see is because she's trying to cover up her tracks. It's because she's been messing with the girl this whole time.
Not true. Let me just say this. You are not as innocent as you try to portray to everybody else. You're not innocent. I didn't find anything, but I had my reasons as to why I went through it in the first place. So for instance, he knows a lot of people in our city. So when we're out, you know, he has a lot of people approaching him that I don't know, I've never heard of. For instance, we literally went probably a couple months ago, we went to go watch a game, and there was a woman that came up to him and was like, oh, hi, Courtney. If you just have random women coming up to you all the time, giving you hugs, saying, hey, Courtney, where are they from? Because a woman that you have on social media is not going to feel comfortable enough to just come up to you and say hi and give you a hug without any prior interaction.
We do have a business.
Without any prior interaction.
We do sell clothes within our
No one's
city.
coming up to you to say hi and give you a hug and acknowledging you and not me.
I can tell you, this sounds a little bit, me think, thou doth protest too much. Like something is going on with you, and you know whatever slip sliding you might be doing, you're putting it on him to make sure he's not doing the same thing. Ms. Blunt asked a witness, Yasmini Adams, is that the third party?
She told me in Dallas that we was cutting her off.
You say you want answers. Let's find out. Ms. Adams, have you and Ms. Blunt been involved in an intimate way? I still want to go back to whether or not this third party is completely out of your life.
And
Because
I believe she is still seeing that girl.
after the incident at the house, I have to imagine you confronted.
Yeah, they had to get out. They left. I put them both out.
Well, she's here today, Your Honor. So
she's where?
She's here today. So if you want to just ask her.
I can tell you, Mr. Saxton, Ms. Blunt asked a witness, Yasmini Adams, is that the third party? Talk to me a little bit, Mr. Saxton. Why are you upset? I want to understand what's going on.
Because she told me in Dallas that we was cutting her off.
Got it. So if you suspect that they've been having an ongoing relationship, you've asked Ms. Blunt in the past.
Yes.
And Ms. Blunt has said no, am I correct?
Yes, correct.
So do you believe Ms. Blunt?
No, I don't believe. She's a liar.
So you say you want answers. Let's find out. Robert, will you ask the witness to come in?
Yep.
Excellent.
Oh, my God.
We said we were laying it all out on the table.
Hey, this Indy.
We're laying it all
you
out.
better talk to her. And you smiling? It's
Right here.
You happy?
You look good.
You showing out, huh? You showing out.
Please state your name for the record.
Yasmin, Your Honor.
Yasmine and Adams, correct?
Yes, Yasmin Adams.
Wonderful. Miss Adams, please tell me the nature of your relationship with the plaintiff.
We connect on a lot of different levels. Like, almost like soul ties. She's a woman, I'm a woman, and I always listen to her needs. I'm always there, honestly. So we have a very close relationship.
Mr. Saxton and Ms. Blunt told me earlier that they invited a third party into their relationship. You were that third party, am I correct?
Yes.
And there was indeed an extra encounter where Mr. Saxton walked into his home and you were there in an intimate situation with Ms. Blunt, correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Saxton was not down with it. He was upset, fair to say.
Yes.
Okay? So there was no doubt at that time that there should have been no future encounters. Okay? Now, I'll ask the tough question. Since then, have you and Ms. Blunt been involved in an intimate way?
No, not since he caught us. But other than that, we had phone calls, we just text, hung out. But other than that, we haven't had any intimacy till the time being of him coming home from work early.
Now, Ms. Adams, after you all decided that the arrangement was not going to be there, did you develop any feelings for Ms. Blunt?
Yes.
Ms. Blunt?
You were still seeing her.
It's fair to say that from Dallas until the moment you all were actually caught at the house, you all had maintained a relationship. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor. And I can say that it's more than just a sexual dealing for me. When it comes to Yasmin, I'm in love with her. I don't know what else to say. He says that I was kind of acting a little bit weird, and I can say that now, at this point in the relationship, I want both of them. And if you love me and you want me to be happy, this is what's gonna make me
So it's all
happy.
about what make you happy.
Yes.
I love. Oh.
Miss Blunt, the fact that you have not even acknowledged that this lie has caused Mr. Saxton pain is probably one of the most selfish things I've ever seen happen in divorce court. You just stated it's all about your needs. I have not met a person in a relationship that has just a single column for needs. Both people are supposed to have their needs met. Mr. Saxton, I really and truly am sorry that you found out this way, but you asked for answers, and I wanted you to have the actual answers. So, Mr. Saxton, let me be real clear. You don't have to be a part of any of these shenanigans, because if you're a good man trying to do the right thing, but the woman that's standing to your right is not the woman that gets satisfied by what you bring to the table, then it's up to you to find your happy with somebody who will, if that's what you want. But if you can make this work, you're a better man than most. But if you can make this work, you can go for it. Something tells me that's not what you were down for.
No, definitely not. Most definitely not. And I'm not.
So you don't want to be with me?
I'm not with this situation.
So you don't want to be with me?
No. If your decision is to be with her, I'm cool on all that.
I didn't say it was to be with her. I said it was to be with both of y'all.
That's what you just said. It's not both of us. That's not what's on the table. It's not both of us. So that's the decision you're gonna have to make. It's not both of us. It's not us together. It's me and you, or it's you and her.
Ms. Blunt, did you hear what he just said?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'm gonna make it even clearer for you. This man don't want to be with you and your female lover, period. Or as the children say, period. Okay? Nope. Don't want to be with you and your female lover. That's not what he down with. And if that's what you want, baby, go with God. Everybody's entitled to find what fulfills their life. Life is too short and life is too long to be in a situation that does not make you happy. But what you can't do is make somebody else sacrifice their happy so that you can live out your fantasy. That's not what's gonna work. Mr. Saxton ain't down with it. There's a whole lot of people that might be down with it. 2 beautiful women in a relationship with him, but he said that's not what he wants. So, ma'am, this is time to fish or cut bait. If you can't commit to this man is out of this relationship. Mr. Saxton, am I correct?
I'm gone. Yes, Your Honor. If she cannot commit, I'm gone.
And Ms. Blunt?
Yes, Your Honor.
My instinct is, no matter what you say, you're not going to commit because that's not what you truly feel.
That's correct, Your Honor.
I'm sad when a relationship breaks up, but I'm happy when people have clarity so that they can make real decisions. And I'm sad because of the blended family and the business that you all have created, but you can work on how to co-parent so that the children don't feel abandoned. But this is not gonna work. I told you that from the beginning when I first sat down. It has never worked before. It won't work now. And Mr. Saxton, it's time for you to go find your happy. She found hers.
Well, cat's out of the bag now, and we can do what we please. Here we go.
The gentleman asked me for some clarity, and I wanted to assure him that we were not taking this lightly, and we were going to handle it with dignity.
Of course.
So that when he got all the information, he can make the real decision. And she put that man through hell.
Yes, she did.
For narcissistic reasons, because she wants what she wants when she wants it.
Exactly. I mean, the only way I could put it is to be blunt,
Yes.
and I'll say it in Spanish, vaya con Dios.
Oh, I know what that means.
Peace.
Made in Georgia.
When it comes to memories, for most people, getting married and walking down the aisle are usually among the very best ones. Well, on today's case, Mrs. Reed says that when she looks back on her wedding day, she's filled with nothing but regrets. She says Mr. Reed is not the man she thought he was when they tied the knot, but is instead a cheap cheater with a silver tongue. Now she's convinced her marriage is nothing but a sham, and she's here in my courtroom to end it today. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Reed versus Reed.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Reed and Mr. Reed. Mrs. Reed, you say you will no longer be controlled and manipulated by your husband, and you're ready to end this marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Reed, you say you cannot imagine life without your wife. You are here to try to save your marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you've been married for 2 years, although together for 6 years, and you have 2 little ones at home, but also raising your child from a previous relationship.
Yes.
So this is a family. It must be pretty serious to bring you to court, Mrs. Reed. Why are we here?
Your Honor, I'm here because Amir, he showed himself to be, the picture-perfect guy. And, all he did was let me down. Amir is very financially manipulative, controlling, and he's a cheater. I just want a divorce. I want to work out a co-parenting situation.
Wow, that's a whole lot, Mr. Reed. Do you hear what your wife said? What do you say, sir?
I'm here to save my marriage. I love her. She has a lot of value, a lot of passion, and she's very supportive to me. And I just want her to trust me.
So let's see if there's something left there, because Mrs. Reed seems hurt. I'd like to know how we got here. Can you take me back to when you met and what has led us to this point, Mrs. Reed?
We met at the supermarket. And so he was staring at me, and I was kind of like, who is this guy looking at me like this? We started talking and we started cracking some jokes. And so, we exchanged numbers and everything. And so we proceeded to leave the supermarket. I was driving home, and then he was following me. And so I thought he was a stalker.
A little creepy.
Yep. And so I stopped the car, and I got out, and I'm like, why are you following me? And he was like, I live here too. I live in the same complex. And I was like, oh, okay. That's a coincidence. And so we started dating. Mm-hmm.
Were you involved in a relationship at the time you met Mr. Reed?
No, I wasn't. I was coming out of a previous marriage that didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had a little one.
Yeah, yep. I had a 2-year-old when we met.
I go to you, Mr. Reed. Did you have expectation that it would turn into something long-term?
I did not. At first, honestly, I thought it was just another kind of like a quick relationship, something that was just gonna by day,
like
by
a
night
dating
kind of thing. Yeah. But after time spending with her and working with her, I've seen that she had a lot of smarts, she's very
She impressed you.
Yeah, she's very creative too.
So clearly you all had a bunch of stuff in common, and I understand Mr. Reed was very good with your son. Am I correct?
Yeah. That's true, Your Honor. He is very good with my son, and that's one of the things I loved about him.
How did it go from sort of a fairy tale fantasy to I now don't trust him? What's going on?
Well, things took a turn for the worse. And Amir, he changed.
Can you pinpoint the time?
Absolutely, yeah. So I had met these young ladies at an event we went to, and they were really nice. We got along, and I had planned for us to go skating. And skating for me it gives me time to be myself. I love the music. I can vibe with it. And I told Amir, I said, I'm going to go skating with these girls, and we're going to have a good time at this time. Well, skating is at the same time every single Sunday. And so once it was time for me to leave, he blocked the door.
You mean physically blocked the door?
Yeah, he blocked the door. He wouldn't let me leave, and then we got into an argument. And he's just so super controlling. He wants to know where I'm going, who I'm going with, why I'm going.
What was the problem with the skating ring, Mr. Reed?
As a woman, going out after 10 p.m. is unacceptable without someone to protect you. I want her to feel safe.
Am I your child, though? Like, I have a curfew?
It's not about that. It's about me wanting to be by your side. And
no, it's not about you. She wanted to go out with her girlfriends. Now, she was going to the skating rink, not to the strip club. What was the problem with her going to the skating rink?
She is a married woman. And I feel like
So married women can't go to skating rink.
I wanted to just be with you.
But Mr. Reed,
always go.
She don't want you with her and the girlfriends at the skating rink. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know a man that want to be bothered with a bunch of women partying and hanging at the skating rink tee-hen. Queens go up in the skating room with the other queens, or if she really flies, she the Barbie queen up in here, the rest of them skippers. She doing her, just looking pretty, okay? She vibing on the music for a couple hours. She getting back in the Uber or whatever car and coming on home to her husband and her kids.
That's a lot of people. I don't just tell you you can't go nowhere. I'll just make sure that when you do go to certain places, that if I feel like I need to be there.
Mr. Reed, you're making things up while you stand here. You physically blocked her from walking out of her own house to go to a couple hours of skating with girlfriends. So you do have a problem with her independence. That is something that actually occurred. So please don't stand in the courtroom and say, I don't have a problem with that. Don't say that's fine, because it's never been fine.
But just when it's late, that was 10 p.m. It's dark
You're
outside.
never gonna make me believe that you don't go out at 10 o'clock at night. You're never gonna make me believe that you don't go out with your fellas and your boys and do your thing. See, just stand in the truth of who you are.
We have a family, Your Honor. I have to be responsible for her and our children.
No, excuse me.
That one vehicle.
She has to be responsible for her. She's a whole human being. This is not your child. This is not your property. Women are not chattel. She may be the mother of your children, but by herself, standing there, she's a whole person. You have not recognized that one time. You have not recognized that she makes her own decisions about who she is, where she goes, who she affiliates with, what is going to happen in her life. That is what she does, because she's a grown-ass woman. Period.
And I have no problems with any of that. I don't think women are chattel. I don't have any type of disrespect towards. I was raised by my mother. I don't have any disrespect towards any woman, anyone in
But
here.
you have an expectation of what kind of woman she's going to be.
You know what, Your Honor, speaking of him not having no disrespect, let's talk about when he did have some disrespect. So it was Mother's Day. So we go out, we have a good time, we eat it and everything. The waitress comes with the check. Well, he give me the check. And
It's Mother's Day.
I know. And he tapping his pockets, talking about, I forgot my wallet at home.
That was one time.
You did that on purpose.
Why did you have short little dinosaur arms when it came time to pay the check? Why didn't you pay the check?
Typically I do, but at that time, I didn't have it.
Tell the truth.
I had to slide him the money under the table.
So you didn't look like Boo Boo the Fool?
Yeah.
But it was a waste of money. I could have cooked the meals. I don't have no problem with that.
Hold on a second. I don't want you or you saying one word. You just told the truth. I just heard you. It was a waste of money. I could have cooked her a meal. We could have done something else. That was not what she wanted. It was Mother's Day. She wanted to go out to a restaurant. You agreed to do that, but the way you decided to get her back was you didn't pay. Oh, I hear everything, Mr. Reed. I'm paying attention.
But I don't have any problems with cooking and giving her the
She
meal
didn't
in
ask
bed.
you to cook.
Why?
She didn't want you to cook. She wanted to go out.
But don't you want to be taken care of?
Not by you at all times, Mr. Reed.
Yeah, sometimes I want to do other things with you and our family. I don't want to always be at home.
That's fine.
He said he was gonna go to his family's house and take a shower, and then he was gonna come back. I decided to go over there. So I opened up the door, and what I could see through the crack was a lady sitting in the chair. We just found out we was pregnant, and you gonna do something dirty like this on my birthday?
I wanted her to try the products.
And you wanted to do all of this on your girlfriend's birthday while you inside with a potential client.
Not a good look.
I have a situation that kind of gets me a little emotional. So it was my birthday, and I had just found out I was pregnant with my daughter.
Wow.
That morning. And we were gonna just celebrate in the house. Gonna just, me and him, we was gonna enjoy the day. It's my birthday, and we found out we was pregnant. Well, he said he was gonna go to his family's house and take a shower, and then he was gonna come back to my house. And, you know, he was taking a while. It was like 2 hours later. I'm like, what the heck? They up the street, you know? And so I decided to go over there. So I opened up the door with my spare key, and the chain was on the door. And so from what I could see through the crack was a lady sitting in the chair. And it's 10 o'clock at night. And so I'm telling the mirror, I said, open up the door. He opened up the door. I'm trying to, you know, ask the lady questions to find out why she's here. She remains silent, and then she leaves. So Amir just standing there looking silly. We just found out we was pregnant and you gonna do something dirty like this on my birthday? This is my birthday.
She was
like
a customer.
You don't care about me that much. And then he's talking about, well, she was a customer for the business.
What do you mean she was a customer?
She was an influencer. She was a customer. She had herself like established. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to make sure, I wanted her to try the products. I wanted her to like.
And you
give a
wanted to do
testimony.
all of this on your girlfriend's birthday on the day that you find out that you're about to have a child.
It was a
That's when you
surprise.
thought that was going to be a good time at 10 o'clock at night.
With the chain on the door.
While you inside with a potential client.
Not a good look.
Your Honor, I wanted her to be surprised. I wanted her to
She
have-
didn't want to be surprised. She wanted her man back home after he took his shower from his homeboy's
But
house
she running-
to go out with her for her birthday and celebrate the impending birth of your child. That's
But
what
she was
she
running
wanted.
customers away.
But that's what she wanted, Mr. Reed. And not even for that 2 hours could you do that. That was not the time for you to be having this meeting, period.
I just felt so hurt. I was surprised. I didn't know he would do something like that. This was before any signs or anything that I may have saw overlooked, and I was just like hurt.
And I
you know,
apologize
nobody
to
could
her.
tell me
I didn't-
anything.
I know that was a mistake. I just want her to trust. Like, I've always still had her back regardless. I've always made sure that she could go out. In the beginning, I was controlling,
No, you still
But-
controlling, because I'm listening to it, Mr. Reed.
but I'm working on myself.
What is going on with these direct messages?
Women are the best marketers, and then because of the work that we do together, I have to give the side eye because her finding out that I cheated on her, not with business, but other times.
How many times? If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
I went to one of my friend's yoga classes, and it was this girl there, and she recognized me. She was like, weren't you selling products at the festival last year? And I was like, yeah, I was there. She was like, the dude that was with you, she was like, that wasn't your dude, right? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, because he slid in my DMs. And she sent me evidence. I have the evidence.
Did you submit the evidence to court?
Yep, I did.
Oh, Lord. Okay, how can I support? Looks like they met their goal. Oh, well, great. Can we text? No, I don't want to. His response is fair.
Why are you asking to text her in the first place?
Because she's a model.
Okay, but
And I was potentially, honestly, to make sure that she could also brand our products. 'Cause
You
she
know,
was a-
but
she
the
was a
young
fabric
lady's
model.
response to you clearly was one of, I don't think so.
Yes, I don't want to. And I said fair. There, it's right there.
Yeah,
I didn't have
Here's
any
my
other-
question. What else were you asking her?
Nothing. That's all that's there.
that shouldn't have even been about. I should have been able to go and have a nice time and do yoga and come home feeling relaxed.
You
it
really
was-
do
it's
think
just a
that
word of mouth
he
thing.
has been untrustworthy in terms of relationship, right?
Absolutely.
Ms. Reed, do you think that there was actual cheating? I mean, honestly, do you believe
Oh
it?
yeah. It was a situation where he confessed.
What do you mean he confessed?
He wanted to explain about the DMs that I saw. Because once I saw the girl at the yoga, you know, I kind of got curious. And
So now you're going to start looking, inspect a gadget now,
I
okay?
started looking. I went through his phone and I saw a bunch of DMs, and one of them was from his ex. And him and his ex is reminiscing about the past and how all the fun that they had, you know, and asking him,
But
is
I
he a
seen the
girl
same thing
dad?
in her phones. She was hurt, and she would send out other messages to her exes too. She also
What-
connected with them.
What is going on with these direct messages? Let's talk for real now.
Well, I mean, honestly, women are the best marketers when it comes to holistic products. Or
I agree with you on that, and I do understand business development. I get that, sir.
And then because of the work that we do together, that I have to give the side eye because how I have treated her in the past and her finding out that I cheated on her, but I didn't want that to be the part of it, but I have confessed to her that I have cheated on her, not with business, but other times.
How many times?
About 8 people.
Wow.
8 people, not 8 DMs.
But I wanted her to know that like that was horrible. That was,
You think?
yeah, it was.
I now finally get why you're so controlling.
But I
It's because you know that you've been a dog. You know that you've been out here being inconsiderate, disrespectful, untrustworthy, unfaithful. You know that that's who you are and that's who you've been. And so you are placing the burdens of your lack of character on her shoulders. Now I finally figured it out.
But it's not who I am.
No, yes, it is.
I have had that character, but that's not who I am today. The reason that I'm here is to save our marriage. I wanted her to know that I want her to trust me, and I have been trustworthy.
When's the last time you've been in those situations with miscellaneous women?
I don't know, like a year ago.
Those text messages that I had pictures of was from last month.
That's one girl, but we talking about at least 8 that we know of.
That was years ago. That was before
from what
we were married,
he told me,
though.
once we got married, he hadn't cheated on me with anybody since then.
Other than this one situation here, is that what you're telling me?
Physically, is what I'm saying.
Ms. Reed, you got divorce papers with you. First of all, let me see if they're even in order. May I have them, Robert, please?
Sure.
Thank you very much. Ms. Reed, you came to court today with divorce papers in hand. My only question at this point is whether or not you have made a determination whether his controlling and manipulative behavior is something that you want in your life.
You know what, Your Honor? I don't want that in my life. 8 is more than enough for me, you know, and he was talking about building trust, and it's like, how can I build trust back to something that was so devastating to me? And I want a divorce, Your Honor. I don't.
Mr. Reed, is there anything that you can say to your wife to fight for your marriage? Because what I'm hearing right now is manipulative and controlling, and it does not sound like a man who wants to rebuild trust. What can you do to tell Mrs. Reed that you can rebuild her trust?
Yes. I want to make sure that you know that I have changed. You're the light of my life. I've definitely made a lot of mistakes with you, with us, but our kids love me, and you have so much love and passion for us, and then there's no strings attached, Your Honor. She really gave me full respect, full love right off.
In other words, she came to this relationship and marriage as her whole self. And you brought a lack of character, so you've got to stand in that.
That's very true.
You did. She gave you everything you asked for.
And it just turned out he's not my picture-perfect husband.
No.
You know.
Well, honestly, Mrs. Reed, very rarely are things picture perfect. Mrs. Reed, I have divorce papers in my hand. Would you like them served?
I would like them served.
Robert, please. Please serve the defendant.
Mr. Reed, you've been served.
Mrs. Reed, your husband has been served with your intent to divorce him. Here's my thing. I would not stay in a marriage where I have to tamp down who I am, where I'd have to give up my spirit, where I'd have to give up my soul. That is not the example. Your husband articulated the example that he lived with. This is not how a man is supposed to react, because you don't want your son to think that this is how a man acts. And guess what you don't want your daughter to do? Think that this is all she can accept, under no circumstances. Mr. Reed, sometimes I get disappointed, but I get more disappointed when somebody is hypocritical and really and truly says they want to fight for their marriage, but the only thing they bring into the table is more demands that the other person change. You got a lot of work to do on yourself, sir. You gonna be a manipulative, controlling, narcissist, unfaithful dude and come in here demanding stuff?
Never seen an individual say, I don't have a problem with that, but had a problem with everything she did.
You don't wanna know why? Because he knew he was doing dog stuff every single day. Ooh, that child need to run.
Made in Georgia.
Sometimes the people you forgive are the ones who disappoint you the most. On today's case, Ms. Harris says she's learned that the hard way because her relationship with Mr. Randall has had more disappointments, pain, and embarrassment than anyone should deal with. She says she is tired of the nonstop parade of baby mamas, side chicks, and off-brand babies that Mr. Randall has brought into her life. She's here in my courtroom to leave this toxic relationship. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Harris versus Randall.
Wonderful. Ms. Harris, Mr. Randall. Ms. Harris, you say the betrayal you've experienced in your relationship has broken your heart. You say you have had enough of the lies and the infidelities, and you wish to end this relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Randall, you say you are here to save your relationship. You admit to some faults, but you say you want to do whatever it takes to save your family.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you all have been together quite some time, Ms. Harris and Mr. Randall. You've been together for 14 years. You've been engaged for over a year, and you do share 2 children, although there are other children from previous relationships. Why are we in court today, Ms. Harris?
Yes, Your Honor. I stand here before you today as a woman who I guess you could say is blinded by love. And I only say this, like you said, I've been with Terlane for 14 years. I'm still with this man who's done nothing but cheat and lie, and I can't handle it. And I'm not talking just with random women. I mean, like, people who are close to me, neighbors, and worse yet, my sister.
Oh, good Lord.
Yes, and I can't sweep it under the rug anymore. I just want to be done. I want to be done with the whole relationship.
You are ready to walk away?
I am.
Mr. Randall, I know you said that you have some faults, but what Ms. Harris is saying is not just faults, it's character flaws. What's going on?
Well, most of it ain't true.
Okay.
Like I said, I do have my faults. I have done some things in our relationship, but going behind her back with her sister or anything close to her, I would never disrespect her like that.
Ms. Harris, I'm going to ask you to take me back to a time that we did have bunnies, butterflies, and flowers. How did you all meet? And then what led to us getting to the point where you're in divorce court?
I met Terlane through a close family friend. Set us up on a blind date. That's how it started.
Did you all start dating and sort of exclusively very early on?
No, we were not exclusive.
Okay.
It was kind of like a slow motion kind of ordeal.
Like traditional dating, which is nice. You go out and...
Well, you would think.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you
What
would
happened?
think. As I started paying close attention, Terlane, he wouldn't go out in public with me.
So what made you think that he was hiding you?
There was a red flag. I received a picture from an unknown number. It was of a newborn baby, and I didn't think anything of it. I finally brought it to his attention, asked, like, do you know anything about this? He told me that he had cheated on me, and the product of that was a baby.
Wow. That's tough. Mr. Randall, that's one of the things you said that
Yes,
has caused some pain.
Yes, Your Honor. I mentioned some certain things. I'm not perfect.
No, that's far from worrying about not perfect.
Yeah.
That's hard for a new relationship. You have a woman who you are trying to establish a relationship with, and you commit an infidelity, and the result of that is a child, which now means the woman that you're establishing a relationship is forced to bring that child into her life and her relationship. You know that.
Yes.
And whether or not she wants to sign on to that brings up a whole mashbuka of considerations.
Yes.
And I do have another example, too.
What happened?
Terlane and I went to go get gas. One day, we were just out. Terlane went inside to pay for the gas, and he left his phone in the car. And even though I knew it was wrong, I still picked his phone up, and I went through it.
Was there a reason for you to start suspecting? Had something happened, or was it just the whole history?
It was part of the history, and also I had a GPS on his phone. I had it connected to his phone so I could see everything that he did, his location, all of that, and something stuck out to me. He was talking to a female over social media, And instantly, I call the girl. I don't even wait to question him. I instantly call her.
So while he's in the gas station?
Yes.
All this transpired?
Yes.
Boy, these people quick.
Yes.
What happened?
So I call the female. I asked her, why are you calling my baby daddy? Why are you messaging him? She says, your baby daddy. You mean our baby daddy?
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I'm having a baby with him, too. So.
Like right now?
Yes.
Mr. Randall, tag, you're it. How'd that happen?
Well, I personally, like I said, I did admit to her. At first, I didn't tell her about it because I wasn't for sure it was my child.
But you were sure that it could have been?
I was sure that it could have been. But, you know, at the time, I was going to wait till I knew specifically that was my child. But I did admit to her, you know, my wrong part on that.
You don't have any choice when the woman just said, Miss Thing, it's not your baby daddy, it's our baby daddy. I mean, you really have no choice.
Yeah.
Because, again, the baby going to be there.
Yes.
So, you now are dealing with 2 baby mamas in the middle of your new relationship.
Yes. The second baby mama's towards the end.
So we got, forgive me for putting it like this, we got random baby pick and we got gas station baby.
Yes. Can I share another example with you?
There's more?
Yes, Your
Oh,
Honor.
my goodness.
Yes. My sister, Terlane, and I, we shared a home together. Early on, there was a rumor going around that my sister was sleeping with Terlane.
What?
I had went away for about a 10-month period.
Okay.
Terlane allegedly went back to his ex, which is his baby mama, that he shares 2 children with.
I'm gonna ask you, Mr. Randall, did you return to your ex?
No, I didn't. I did not return to Latrice. I didn't.
I found this out from one of Terlane's close family members. She was having a sexual relationship with one of the family members, and this family member had a girlfriend. And I don't know if she just was mad or out of spite.
Oh, yeah, they mad. Everybody mad now because
yeah, she had to admit that.
y'all just sleeping with Lottie Dottie and
Yes,
everybody all
yes.
in the family, like you the Hatfields and the McCoys, and you from West Virginia or something. This only makes sense.
Yes, and she called me, and just to let you know, Ashley, Terlane's sleeping with your sister.
Oh, good Lord. How you get involved in all this mess?
Nah, I don't.
Because you don't know how to keep it in your pants, because you would not be put in this trick bag if you didn't have the reputation of being somebody that sleep all around. One of my jurors is like, thank you, Judge. She just couldn't contain herself. I saw you up there.
Yeah, I mean, Your Honor, I can't lie. I've done a lot. I've done more than enough to kind of hurt this
That's
girl.
not even all, Your Honor. That's not all.
I want to hear from Mr. Randall.
Okay.
Mr. Randall.
So, like, you know, I have done a lot, and I've tried to get better with time.
How you trying to get better when this just happened this last baby 20 minutes ago for all practical purposes?
Yeah, but I mean, all I'm saying is this, like, I'm working towards trying to fix my family. That's
No,
all I
but
want.
working towards fixing your family is coming after working towards fixing yourself. Because this behavior shows a lack of character, Mr. Randall. Seriously, do you have sons?
Yeah, I got three sons.
How old is the oldest?
16.
16.
Yeah.
He's a young man.
Yeah.
He sees your behavior. You're a 16-year-old.
We have a son.
Yeah.
How old is your son?
My son is 10.
He sees your behavior. More importantly, he sees your behavior, Mrs. Harris. Your 10-year-old son, he thinks this is the way
This is normal.
a woman should be treated,
Yes.
because that's what he sees. And it's irresponsible, Mr. Randall. I'm not sure that people fully appreciate that. I feel it's my obligation to at least make you look at a mirror so that you can make good judgment knowing full well that these are the consequences of those actions. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I also have more to share.
What?
I had went away for about a 10-month period.
Okay.
And I thought Terlane could be faithful to me, stay loyal even while I was gone. Terlane allegedly went back to his ex, which is his baby mama, that he shares 2 children with. And I have a reliable source, which at the time, I had no reason not to believe this, and she told me. Not only is Trelane always over there, but he's spending the night.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you, Mr. Randall, did you return to your ex?
No, I didn't. I did not return to Latrice. I didn't.
I want to know if Trelane is sleeping with Latrice even to this day. I have no idea, but I would like answers.
You know what? I'm going to find out. How about that? Miss Harrison, are you available to talk with the court?
Hi.
If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
I just want answers. I want to know if Trelane is sleeping with Latrice even to this day. I have no idea, but I would like answers.
You know what? I'm going to find out. How about that? Okay? Because you say no, right, Mr. Randall?
No, I am not.
And we've asked Ms. Hairston to join us today. And I think that I know she was not able to join us in person, but she was going to be able to join me virtually on phone, if I'm not mistaken. Ms. Hairston, are you available to talk with the court?
Hi.
Can you tell me what is the relationship with both the litigants, with Ms. Harris and Mr. Randall?
Trelane is the father of my 14 and 15-year-old daughters.
Okay, so these are the teenagers that are in his life. And do you know Ms. Harris?
Yeah, me and Ashley are good friends now.
Okay, and how did you actually meet the plaintiff? How did you meet Ms. Harris?
Because I was going through Trelane's phone one day because her phone kept ringing. This is the end of me and Trelane's relationship, and that's what finalized it. And he told me the truth, you know. He didn't lie to me. He told me, he kept it 100, and I just made up that day that I had to leave this man alone. And he didn't expect the reaction I gave him because I left him alone.
So, wait, how did you actually find out? I heard there was a phone call.
Yeah, I went through his phone, and she called and hung up. But I think it kind of startled her or upset her that a female was even actually answering his phone. And I took a picture of me and him together. He was actually at my house that day. And I sent it to her, and I said, this is the reason why he's not answering the phone. She's a really sweetheart, and I felt sorry for her because I knew Trelane was going to sabotage this girl.
One thing I have to say to you, though, Miss Harrison, that was a straight gangster move when you sent that picture, though. I'm gonna tell you, that's gonna go down in the baby mama drama, not having it book. Cause
I knew he was gonna lie.
Well, I tell you what, a photo will give you the proof. And Miss Harris is sitting here crying in the courtroom because she's remembering how that made her feel, I'm sure. But I'm
pretty sure it did. I knew it hurt her feelings, and that's why I didn't want to argue with her, because at the same time, I was damaged myself because of what I allowed Trelane to put me through. And, I had to hold accountability of that. Like, he's who he is, and it's up to me to allow that. And that broke me when I realized that I had to open up and accept that, be accountable for my own actions and let that man go. So I kind of, that was the empathy that I had with Ashley, because I knew he was gonna destroy this girl. And it's almost like she walked the path I could have lived. And by the grace of God, I woke up and got away from that.
Ms. Harrison, I have to tell you, your insight is absolutely imperative in this situation, because what you say is basically, as Miss Ashley Harris is walking in the footsteps that you walked, but you were smart enough to get off that path. Am I correct?
Yes, and I had to be accountable for my actions and stop putting all the blame on him, because he's going to be who he is. And I have to accept that. And my way of accepting that was to leave that man alone.
I'm going to ask you a serious question, because Miss Harris wants to know, have you and Mr. Randall been involved in an intimate relationship in the past few years?
No. I had to learn how to accept Trelane as the man he is, so that my children can love their daddy without my interference. Because at the end of the day, that's their father, and they're going to have their own assumption and thoughts of their father, and I had to get out my feelings over 13 years ago so my babies can grow up with some kind of healthy mindset on who the daddy was, because I never had a dad, so I wasn't going to strip them from having this piece of daddy that they do have, whether he, was the way he was or not.
I think, Ms. Harrison, you have just summed it up. I appreciate your insight, and I appreciate you clearing up things for Ms. Harris and for Mr. Randall so that everybody know where everybody stands. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you.
Yes, you have a wonderful day.
Ms. Harris, are you satisfied with Ms. Harrison's answers?
I am.
Now it's time for Mr. Randall to talk to you and tell you what he says he wants to do to save this relationship, because this is going to be up to you at this point. Mr. Randall?
Well, I've done a lot. I'm truly sorry from the bottom of my heart. We have been working, and we came a long way, and I'm going to continue trying to do whatever it takes to make you happy. I've became a stay-at-home type of person just for you because I know what I put you through, and I promise you'll never have to go through that again. Just let's stick this out. Let's keep it going because it's something special. So I'm sorry for everything I've done to you. Hopefully you forgive me.
And Ms. Harris, I don't know whether or not that comes into your heart or not. I don't, because you might be 100% honest and sincere, right, what you said. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But sometimes when people say I'm sorry, it's a little too late.
Yep.
Because the hurt is too much for them to get over.
When you
So
hear
you
I'm
have to be
sorry,
prepared for what that means.
Yeah. When you hear I'm sorry, the words have no meaning whatsoever. Like, you're too late. It's too late. There's too much damage done. I can't even look myself in the mirror and like who I see because you broke me down. You broke me down to my knees. I fought for this relationship for over a decade. There's nothing left. I have nothing else to give you. I have nothing else to give you.
Ms. Harris, this is on you, but I have to tell you, you have to get up off the floor. Otherwise, you're a doormat. You have to get up off the floor. You cannot allow people to walk over you, to stand on top of you, to make you feel less than you are. There's no reason for you to be so broken that you're so hurt that you don't recognize yourself anymore. There's no reason that you have every right to say, I deserve more. You deserve the flowers and the butterflies and the bunnies and all of that. You do. Every person deserves that in their life. And if this man is not the man who can give it to you, then take it for yourself and find the person that can. That is what you deserve. And you have to stand on your own 2 feet. Are you ready to claim your life again?
I am. I know it's going to be hard, but I have to do it. For my kids, I have 2 girls who look up to me. I cannot let them grow up and think this is okay to be treated this way from a man that you love. I can't allow it. I can't allow it.
And you shouldn't. You deserve more, and those girls deserve more. Mr. Randall, you blew it. You lost the best thing that you could have ever had. Sometimes it's a little too late.
Over a decade of pain. I wouldn't want my daughter or family or friend to endure that.
I can't even imagine how that young lady must be feeling, except a bit of relief, because it's time to go.
Let's do it.
To the left.
Made in Georgia.
It
It was Maya Angelou who said, have enough courage to trust love one more time, and always one more time. But what if that one more time turns out to be just as bad as the first time? On today's case, Ms. Leonard says that when it comes to her fiancé, Mr. Thomas, she has all of the courage and none of the trust. She says Mr. Thomas is living life like he's single, and with a baby on the way, that is not going to fly with her. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Leonard versus Thomas.
Thank you very much, Ms. Leonard and Mr. Thomas. Ms. Leonard, you say you never imagined that you'd be pregnant in my courtroom fighting for your relationship. You say the biggest problem is that Mr. Thomas refuses to meet you halfway. You hope I can help you find a resolution for these issues.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Thomas, you say Ms. Leonard's calculated lies and petty behavior have you with one foot out the door.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so this is a very serious case, even though you two are extremely young, 23 years old, and you have been together for some time. There is a baby on the way, so there are some stakes here. You met when you were little kids, 11 and 12 years old, dating for 3 years.
Yes, Your Honor, that's right.
What brings us to court today, Ms. Leonard?
Well, Your Honor, as you can see, I have no ring on my ring finger, and I'm 6 months pregnant. Even though it doesn't look like it, I'm very much 6 months pregnant, and he has 3 months to marry me.
Ooh, did you hear that ultimatum, Mr. Thomas?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you say?
I'm here actually because the mother of my child is manipulative and vindictive.
You're not ready to get married?
Yeah, basically, I'm not.
Yeah, so I need to hear you say that, sir. That's not on me, as I didn't get nobody pregnant.
Yeah, I'm not ready to get married.
Okay. So let me just say to you, Ms. Leonard, you're 23 years old. You're a beautiful young woman. You have been in this relationship for some time now. Did you plan this baby?
No, I didn't. But, you know, I'm a big girl, so I'm ready to push through whatever I've, you know, come to be with now.
Okay, so take me back then, because I need to know how we got to this point. How'd you guys meet?
Well, I was a family friend, and I knew his cousin, so me and his cousin was best friends, and he just so happened to be coming over one of those days, and, you know, that's how I met him.
And was the relationship an easy one? Was it a good one? What ended up changing to get you here to divorce court?
Well, before, it was really easy, nice and butterflies, and you know how it be in the beginning, the honeymoon phase. But then, after some time, I started just noticing, you know, just some inconsistencies in his behavior. So then after that, I started to notice, you know, things in his phone and this and that and all of this. And, you know, I kind of just decided that, okay, we kind of need a mediator that's no one in his family.
All right, so I want to understand this. I know, Mr. Thomas, you said that Ms. Leonard gives as good as she gets, and there's some issues on her side also.
Yes.
Well, why don't we start, Ms. Leonard, since you brought the case. I know one of the biggest issues is you think that he is a cheater.
Yes, ma'am.
Please give me some examples of why you think that, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't think he is a cheater. I've had proof that he's a cheater.
Okay.
Well, there was a couple of times where we were at a barbershop, you know, he'd get his hair cut and this and the third, and I would see multiple women in his phone. And
how do you mean you would see multiple women in his phone? Explain to me what you'd actually see.
Okay, I see DMs and, you know, a little flirting from here and there, and it just didn't make me feel all that good.
Okay, you saw women direct message Mr. Thomas. Did you see messages where he engaged with those women?
All the time.
Okay, so see, Mr. Thomas, that's something that I always ask, because you can't stop folk from sliding into your DMs. That's how a lot of people meet. But Mr. Thomas, why are you engaging with miscellaneous women on the direct message?
It's like, first of all, she shouldn't have been in my phone.
We know that, but y'all young people, y'all go through each other's phones. That's how y'all do. Y'all sneaky like that. That's your new thing. Y'all look through each other's phones, so I'll say to her so to make you feel good. Bad girl, bad girl. Now, next. Now that we know that she went through your phone, we know she shouldn't have gone through your phone, answer my question. What you doing talking to all these miscellaneous women?
It's like the messages she seen weren't even new, current. They were old messages from like, we weren't even serious then, you feel me? So it's like.
How old are the messages?
The messages was like when we first started back talking. Like we weren't
So
serious.
we were serious enough.
What do you mean when you just started back
You know how
talking?
you start talking to someone, you're not dating yet, you getting to know them. I'm
Okay.
getting to know multiple people.
So you're telling me these are 3-year-old direct messages?
Yeah, most of them. Yeah.
When was the most recent direct message you saw?
Actually, Miami, which was like 3 weeks ago.
That's not 3 years old, sir.
But if you look at the context and the messages she's talking about, I wasn't doing nothing. I was like, you know, that would go against what we have.
Judge Star, I'm sorry. All of what he's saying right now is a lot of shenanigans.
Okay, so Miami 3 weeks ago does not seem like this was some innocent DMs. Am I correct?
No, it definitely wasn't.
Tell me
innocent.
exactly what happened.
Okay, so, you know, he decided he wanted to go to Miami. He just sprung it on me. I said, I don't think you should go. I think you should stay here. He said, okay, I'm gonna go. My friends need me there. So I said, okay, you can just do what you do. Okay, fine, whatever.
Okay, but he was just going to Miami to kick it with some fellas?
Spring break, on spring break.
Why didn't you go?
I didn't go because, you know, I was at home. I was trying to take care of my body and everything like that and get prepared for
So
my
you didn't
delivery.
want to go and hang at spring break?
No, I thought it was being responsible, you know, just staying at the house.
Okay, but clearly Mr. Thomas wanted to go and hang at spring break.
Okay, I mean, just because you wanted to do something don't mean that you should.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, tell me about Miami.
Miami, I had a great time. I felt like nothing was like holding me back. Everybody, you know, my mother of my child is a grown woman. She could take care of herself. It's not like she was in danger or anything. You know, I just went for 2-3 days to enjoy myself with my friends, and we came.
Judge, that was a week. He was gone a week. So I went ahead and I just seen that he had 3 new followers. So I decided to DM all 3 of them.
I'm his girlfriend. If he was acting up, I just want to know.
She's so concerned about me cheating when she's the one cheating.
Let me hear what you have to say, Mr. Thomas.
She's been with recent exes, sitting in their lap, kissing them in the mouth, you know, but she want to come back to me like it's all good. It's not all good.
So while we was in Miami, I seen that he had 3 new followers. And
3 followers.
Wait.
yes, 3
I'm
new
sorry,
followers.
Miss Leonard, you clocking him that closely to know that he got 3 new followers?
Yes, I sure am.
3?
Yes. I mean, like, I'm at the house, he outside, out of town. I'm gonna check up on my man.
Man, that's more than checking right now.
That's more than checking.
Anyways.
Go ahead, Carmen Santiago. Girl, you on there looking for everything.
Yeah, I sure was.
Go
and
ahead.
I felt it was well within my rights. So I went ahead and I just seen that he had 3 new followers. All of these followers, guess what? They so happened to be in Miami at the same time. Okay? So I decided to DM all 3 of them.
Oh.
And 3 of them did not respond, but actually 1 responded a little later. The other ones did not. So I happened to have a conversation with her.
So you submitted the direct message
I sure
information
did.
that
Yes,
way,
ma'am.
so we know exactly what we're talking about.
I'm in the
Let's see.
blue and the young ladies in the white.
Okay. So our plaintiff said you met Graham? Yes. So what y'all was on with him? I'm his girlfriend. If he was acting up, I just want to know. Oh, your man out here being a joke. What that mean? Like, yeah, that I could imagine what that word was. So, suffice it to say, Miss Leonard, your boyfriend was out there wilding, having fun.
He sure was while I'm at the house. He thought I was gonna be in my feelings. So no, I'm not gonna do any of
Okay.
that.
So, Mr. Thomas, you were having fun in Miami.
I was. But what you just saw, I wasn't even talking to her. I was talking to her friend, and I was inviting them to a party we was having.
Which is what one does when one goes down to Miami on spring break.
Why his friends couldn't do it? His friends were single.
I think
He need to be the inviter.
So, Miss Leonard, let me say this to you. You don't want to go looking for stuff that you definitely gonna find. Anybody that knows that their man is on their way to spring break is gonna have some fun. So I'm gonna turn to Mr. Thomas. Did you violate the relationship?
No, I did not.
We don't have proof of that.
I'm sorry?
We don't have proof of that.
Do you have proof that he did?
Other than the DMs.
Okay, that right there does not prove it. First of all, you don't know this chick from a can of paint.
Never seen him.
You don't know who she is, what her motivation is. The only thing you know is you in a relationship with this man right here, but you presumed that he was doing something bad, and you took
the half a word, not even the real word, because the chick didn't say nothing, from some miscellaneous chick down in Miami that you don't know? I just want to be clear on the facts.
I got something to add to this.
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Thomas.
She's so concerned about me cheating when she's the one cheating, you feel me? I think that's why she's so worried about me, because she knows, like, what she's doing.
Let me hear what you have to say, Mr. Thomas.
She's been with recent exes, sitting in their lap, kissing them in the mouth, you know, but she want to come back to me like it's all good. It's not all good.
Uh-oh.
Honestly, Your Honor, I was actually going to leave him when I did that.
She was, but she didn't.
I didn't. I only didn't because the guy that I was chilling with just didn't give me the vibes. But he was in somebody's DM already having sexual conversations. Oh, I'm gonna do this and that and that. Do you remember when I did this?
You all don't sound like you have any respect for each other. There is somebody who I want to speak with. Ms. Thomas, will you please just state your name and your relationship to Mr. Thomas?
Francesca Thomas, and Destin Thomas is my son.
I heard about this incident where your car was actually damaged. Is that the first time that it has escalated to that point?
Absolutely not. That was actually the last time that I allowed it to happen.
If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
I'm still just trying to understand the dynamics of this relationship because I understand that Miss Leonard lived in the home with you at one time.
Exactly.
But that's over with now.
Yes, correct.
How the heck did that happen?
My mom loved her, everybody in my family loved her at first initially, but you know, as time went on, we started to see what was really going on, and it was just arguments and fighting every day, just loud stuff banging into the wall. My mom's car actually, her tail light actually got busted.
What?
Destiny had tried to throw something or something and missed, and it hit the car, you know. Yeah, so it was just a lot. And my mom actually kicked her out. It's because she was going through, like, stress too much, like post-traumatic stress.
I am looking at a photograph of a busted-out taillight. Okay, Miss Leonard, help me to understand this. How did that occur?
His mom tries to help us out every now and again, you know, and she actually gave us some birth chart information for us to get to know each other a little more and a little deeper. So while we were in the car, we were just discussing this, and somehow, some way, we started talking about, you know, some infidelities between the both of us. And it kind of got a little heated. We left the car, you know, his parents came down.
You mean you were fighting in front of this man, Mama and Daddy?
I wasn't fighting, Your Honor. It was just more so like I was just trying to grab Destin, you know? That's all.
What kind of mess is this? That you are out there in the street fighting, hollering, screaming, acting like you don't have no home training. Girl, that is just tacky.
I hear you, Your Honor.
You know, actually, there is somebody who I want to speak with because I know that you lived with Mr. Thomas's family, the two of you, for some time, and I would like to get her perspective. Francesca Thomas can join us. She can't join us in person, but she can join us virtually. Ms. Thomas, how are you today? Will you please just state your name and your relationship to Mr. Thomas?
Yes, Francesca Thomas, and Destin Thomas is my son.
Ms. Thomas, these are two young people that have put themselves in the proverbial trick bag, if you ask me, because they are young, and neither one of them seems mature enough to be in a long-term relationship right now. But you've been front and center for this relationship. That's just my opinion for the last few minutes. What have you witnessed, ma'am?
Well, where do I begin? I feel that this is definitely toxicity at its finest, if I must say. I've lost money because of the two. I've experienced PTSD because of the two. I can't sleep at night. Whenever I hear even a car going by, I'm jumping because I can't sleep because I'm thinking that they're at one another. Like, it's ridiculous. I just feel that they shouldn't even be together at this point.
I heard about this incident recently where your car was actually damaged. Is that the first time it has escalated to that point?
Absolutely not. That was actually the last time that I allowed it to happen. And that's the thing. She's became very rude and disrespectful She started off really nice young lady. You know, we would go on dinner dates, you know, girl dates, pedicure, manicure, massages, and all that great stuff. And then, you know, once you get to know a person, when she stayed over one night basically and never went home, that's when I saw the real her.
Miss Leonard, what do you have to say, ma'am?
I think she should just pick a side. Like, she plays devil advocate a lot.
I'm choosing a side right now. You guys need to separate.
Miss Leonard, there's just no question that Miss Thomas is already gonna pick a side all the time. She's gonna be on the side of her son.
Of course.
And sanity. Okay? I would venture to guess if your mother was here and saw him be abusive towards you, she'd be picking a side also. If she saw arguing and fighting in the street and she got hit in the middle of trying to break up an altercation and tail lights got busted out, your mother would be saying to me, my daughter is not going to be nowhere around this man. I'm pretty sure that's what your mother would say. Miss Thomas, I appreciate your time today, and I appreciate what you have said. I'm going to finalize these conversations with Miss Leonard and Mr. Thomas right now. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Miss Leonard, I heard what Miss Thomas had to say. Have you heard what your boyfriend had to say? I know what you say you want, but have you listened to him about how this behavior has affected him and his family? Have you heard him?
Yes, I've heard him, Your Honor, but I'm also saying that either he marries me or I'm prepared to disappear.
You do realize that you will then put yourself in yet another trick bag because the child is Mr. Thomas's also, and he might want to be a part of the baby's life.
He can get visitation.
Well, then that means you're not disappearing.
Well, you know, he can get summers or something like that. We could always make it work like that, you know.
So that's called co-parenting.
Like I said, Your Honor, I want these papers filled out.
I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I think you have an unreasonable expectation of what relationship is. And if you wanted a traditional relationship with the emotional, physical, spiritual, social, and security needs met, like in other relationships, you would have decided to use basic pregnancy protection before you got pregnant so that you could make choices that you're not interested in becoming a mother before you become a wife. And before you worried about becoming a wife, you needed to worry about becoming a mature woman because that's not what you are right now. And it's sad because you are about to be a mother because your body is going to produce offspring. But whether or not your mind is going to produce the hormones and your heart is going to produce the love that's necessary to turn what your body has produced into a productive citizen, I don't know. But one thing you're going to have to do is you're going to change that attitude, young lady, because the baby's coming. And you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're going to be a single mother because Mr. Thomas is not marrying you. And I know it sounds harsh, but I'm not even willing to hand him those papers because what you can't do is make this man make you his wife if you are not even worthy enough to be his girlfriend. I'm sad to say it, but young lady, you have put yourself in the proverbial trick bag, and you are going to be on your own if you don't change your attitude. Well, Robert, I think I have seen it all.
Listen, she is no joke. No joke.
She might be tiny, but she has the most unrealistic expectation of what a relationship is. Right. She thinks she's gonna make this young man marry her.
He's not gonna marry her, but strap in, Mr. Thomas, because she's gonna make his life impossible.
You are looking at the single worst baby mama in history of baby mamas.
Make the trophy.
Okay, she wins.